Hi guys, today is the 29th of August 2018. I'm Holly from Katanning, West Australia. I'm doing this video to talk about my medical targeting. I'm also remote neuro monitored 24/7 with feedback, but I actually want to talk about the medical and how it is happening to me in my own home. I know it's happening to other targeted individuals throughout the world. Whether their targeting and their medical's happening the same way as mine, it would be good if we could link and find a platform amongst us. But I'll put this out, and if it helps anyone, I hope it can help. I've heavily looked into Katanning to see what could be out there that could target me for medical, because it is happening in my own home. There's pretty much two ways it can happen. Either A, someone's coming into my house at night time, or B, I am within a system. So I more or less have to put myself as an anomaly in a system of systems. So that's what I've set out to done and that's what I've set out to do, and that's what I've done. So I'll start first. I'll read this. This platform I'm going to talk about, Complex Adaptive Systems, is Complex Adaptive Systems International. It is a global platform. The professor that I am going to be talking about is Professor Peter Campbell. Now, Professor Peter Campbell was the director of the Advanced Computer Application Center of Argonne National Lab in America. So this is who I'm targeting as being involved in my targeting. Professor Peter Campbell, he, from November 94 to August 2000, he was the director of Advanced Computer Application Center at Argonne National Lab. He was responsible for both market development and technical direction, with a focus on modeling and simulation systems for logistics, battlefield environment representation, hydraulical planning, healthcare, and meteorological forecasting applications. Initiated development of agent-based simulation approaches to complex adaptive systems. Applications involving human interactions with systems and organizations as a means of developing decision support tools for federal agencies. Now, so he returned to Australia from 22 years in the US in late 2000, worked on a 3-year contract from 2004 to 2007 for CSIRO's Complex Systems Science Initiative to introduce complex system simulation tools for agriculture landscape planning and critical infrastructure analysis. Well, you can see why it took him 3 years. Okay, so from November 94 to August 2000, he was in America at Argonne National Lab. He returned in 2000 to Australia. In 2004, he joined the Systems Engineering and Evaluation Centre at the University of South Australia as Professor of System Modelling and Simulation, working on the application of complex adaptive systems simulations and technology to large-scale integration simulation projects. Okay. Well, that from 2004 to 2007, that Complex System Science Initiative to introduce complex system simulation tools for agriculture landscape planning, he did he did it from 2004 to 2007, but according to his own resume, in 2004 he had joined the System Engineering and Evaluation Centre, which I will show you is this one here. But see at the bottom here where it says also Katanning simulation for CSIRO. So he was there in 2004. So he was actually there doing the simulation for CSIRO as an American representative of Argonne National Lab, because this coping biophysical and social model, conceptual model and implementation details for a simulation of Katanning, West Australia, by Peter Campbell, Argonne National Lab, supporting CSIRO's Complex Science Initiative. So, why he's doing that, he had other people involved. One of these people involved was Joanne Warden-Johnson, and I'll come back to her because she also gets her 5 cents worth of Katanning. But this simulation that was done for Katanning, the long-term viability of an agriculture region is a result of complex interactions of a large number of different factors across a biophysical and socio-economic domains. These interactions are non-linear and at any time are driven by the context arising from the interactions of humans with their social and physical environments. Not environment, environments. Like any other system in which humans are involved, this is a complex adaptive systems. So there is my complex adaptive systems of systems. Right, that's Peter Campbell's 5 cents worth. But when he did the simulation for Katanning, down the bottom there you will see Joanne Warden-Johnson. Now her 5 cents worth of Katanning simulation is people in context. Now people in context, that's me and the other probably 2,500 to 3,000 residents of Katanning. People in context. Critical social dimensions in complex landscape systems. So we're well and truly in a system of systems. And so people in context, that's Holly, living in critical social dimensions in complex landscape systems. And this is why Professor Peter Campbell's working for Defence Systems Institute at the University of South Australia. From there, the simulations of Katanning end up at the 8th Asia Pacific Complex Systems Conference, which is a global complexity international get-together. Now, this was on in 2007, and Katanning's simulation, Peter Campbell, CSIRO, Johnson Warden, her 5 cents worth of there. From this complex, the 8th Asia Complex Systems Conference, comes a SimCat Katanning. Now SimCat is Simulation Katanning. SimCat Katanning, a virtual lab. Now it's got here that it's to explore the impact of climate change. Well, that must be within the system. because if everything's within a system, that's got to also be weather modification. So everything has to be monitored within the system. Right, now, so we've now got a virtual lab from Peter Campbell. But we're going to go back to Peter Campbell because in 2010, after all his wee simulations, he joins the University of Wollongong as Professor of Infrastructure Modelling. Sorry, I'll read that again. October 2010, joined the University of Wollongong as Professor of Infrastructure Modelling in the Smart Infrastructure Facility. Worked in the area of application of ABM, which is your agent-based modelling, and MBSE to the improvement of management of large-scale development projects. Okay, so he's joined the University of Wollongong at the Smart Infrastructure Facility. Now, that SimCat Kataning's virtual lab is a Smart Infrastructure Facility paper. It's their document. Now, the Smart Infrastructure Facility at Wollongong is actually a cloud computing smart infrastructure facility, the Internet of Things. Now, this is where this Professor Peter Campbell picks up a Dr. Matthew Berryman, Dr. Matthew Berryman is the IT architectist at the Smart Infrastructure Facility. But this Dr. Matthew Berryman is also DISTO, Defence Science Technology Organisation, and DISTO are very much integrated with Katanning via the Optus C1. Now, I know from the University of Wollongong, the Smart Infrastructure Facility, it then goes on to some complex system engineering principles with Dr. Matthew Berryman and Professor Peter Campbell. My documents then go on further to Dr. Matthew Berryman, complex adaptive systems. He is not just complex adaptive systems, he's in the complex adaptive systems reading group. The other members in the complex adaptive DISTOs, Defence Science Technology Organisations, complex adaptive systems reading group, then go on to adaptive battle agents, emergencies and artificial life, combat models as far as I'm concerned, that's Soulcatcher, Project Soulcatcher, tutorials on agent-based modelling with NetLogo and network analysis with Paycheck. Now, Paycheck is the Slovenian word for spider, for the spider web. The spider web is complex adaptive systems of systems, which is integrated with the spider web, what I call the spider web, Paycheck, which is complexity systems, science, audio, video, data. It's the Internet of Things as such. It's the Internet of Things come, how can I put it? For the simulation that's been done on Katanning, for any of the complex adaptive systems of system simulations that are done, are referred to as HLC, their high-level architecture. Now, the satellites involved with the complex adaptive systems on the global platform are referred to as high-level architecture satellites. Now, for myself and Australia, New Zealand and parts of Asia, they are the Optus C and D satellite. For America, I know Quasar is definitely one which is I'm sure that is what they refer to as a C2, command control C2 complex satellite. They're actually integrated the complex in with the satellite, and the complex also falls in with your C3 intelligent systems. So for myself, that's why my Optus C1 is also a C2, because the C2 is the C3I intelligence side of it, which falls under the global SATCOM platform, high level architecture SATCOM platforms. Now, when it comes to the medical side of the SATCOM platforms, this is where I've been talking about the 210 data sets. Now, for myself, the 210 data sets collected in Katanning form the quasi-zenith satellite systems. Now, for Australia, the quasi-zenith satellite systems is the Optus C1, and it's the other high-level architecture, next-gen SATCOM GPS 3-4 block satellites. Now, that's the quasi, as that you see the quasi-zenith, that's Australia. South Africa have their 5 cents worth. Russia have their 5 cents worth. America have their 5 cents worth. That quasi-zenith actually goes all the way around the globe. Japan use that as their telemedicine. I don't understand the computeral side of it, but it's got a crystal oscillator in it, and that crystal oscillator, because it's got a crystal oscillator on board, they can use it for telemedicine. And so if that's integrated with your next gen SATCOM platform, bearing down on you wherever you are in the world, which is integrated into the smart systems, and this is where everything is integrated together, because with the upgrade on a global platform with the Nuja smart power, smart reclosures, with the Nuja smart grid, it's for Australia, it's digital. We have digital power. You have been put onto a grid. Katanning has been put onto a grid. Within the system, you would have to be within a system. So power is digital. We then had Rheinmetall Defence do a simulation of our Transfeld Worley power station, Transfeld Worley power station is known as Muja Power, who is Katanning's power supplier. Now, Katanning's power was all upgraded when we got digitised and put into the system. Then the Nuja switchgear, which is a global platform, comes along, and they more or less hang little boxes, hang aerials on your power poles, and that puts you into a system within a system. With Katanning, it's monitored 24/7. Rheinmetall Defence have simulated and have processed computer platforms for a global power simulation. And the Nuja smart grid, when you have a Nuja smart grid, you in your house are more or less, you're an anomaly within that system. And when you can see it and understand it that way, it makes targeting within your own home a whole lot easier, whether it's remote neuromonitoring or whether it's a virtual surgeon medical. Now, with this Dr. Matthew Berryman and Professor Peter Campbell, the Smart Infrastructure Facility, Dr. Matthew Berryman is also known as a SPY. He's a smart, that word smart again, smart material, nano and micro smart systems. He is a medical SPY. He works with cancer. And I've had a breast lump removed. I've had half my cervix removed because of cancer, apparently. So this Dr. Matthew Berryman, he is very much integrated in Katanning, and he if he has not personally been involved in my case, he knows who has been and he knows what is going on here. The C2 is this document here, study military command and control system as complex networks. So I'm starting to think that the C2, global C2 platform, which is integrated with your C3 intelligent, C3I, and your C3-4, is complex adaptive systems. It's complex adaptive systems of systems. It's complexity system science. It's audio, video, real-time, live data, which is paycheck, which is a Slovenian word for spider, P-A-J-E-K. It's a Slovenian word for spider. I mean, even the professor, even the guy that wrote the paycheck program, and what he got the Semele Award for writing this program. He is a professor of discrete. That's what his document says. He is a professor of discrete and a professor of computer or mathematics. I know he was in America. I know he is linked to the C2 and the C3 intelligence systems. So with everything I have, with my medical, how it is integrated with the satellites, it is integrated with your smart systems, because I would imagine the smart Nuja system is on the global platform now. With Nuja, the smart reclosure systems, with these programs, when all our new power pole got put up, Nuja have actually GPS their power poles. So, and the Nuja Power Smart Grid is also used for your wireless body area network, where if you've got internal or external microchips that are used for monitoring glucose, heart, anything, any medical, it can be done with the smart systems of your new Nuja Smart Systems Reclosure. So it's a system within a system, which will all fit quite nicely into complex adaptive systems of systems. So that's pretty much, that's my targeting as far as the medical side of it goes. How I know who's involved, I have more or less, there's two ways they can be doing it. Defence are based in ground floor in Katanning. They are covert. They do run around your houses at night time. Either A, they've come into my house and they've got their filthy little paws on me that way within those 85 days from one CAT scan to the other. From the 26th of November 2014 to the 19th of February 2015, I never left my house. I never had any medical procedures done. 100% beyond reasonable doubt, from watching that first CAT scan to that second CAT scan, you, beyond reasonable doubt, know. You can see what has been done to me in my home. So as far as I'm concerned, the Australian government, Defence of Australia, Defence Science Technology of Australia, Professor Peter Campbell, Dr. Matthew Berryman, you guys are accountable for what you have done to me. And I want answers. And I'm not going to stop. You can go and keep targeting me as hard as you have been. I'm not going to stop, because I'm going to make it aware of what's going on, not just to myself, but to other people in Katanning, because what's going on is crimes against humanity. It's human experimentation at absolute worst. It's women, it's children, it's men, It's old, it's young. No one is exempt from what is being done in Katanning, and it needs to be dealt with. Okay, so that's all I can say, and yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Bye.